Good evening, everyone. I put together a quick slideshow just as a sample for something that I would do for a professional development opportunity as in the position of the financial literacy mentor for the district. These are just my own personal opinions about personal finance and things that I've read, some things that I've believe, and just a couple of maxims at the end that I try and kind of live by. And they question kind of the normal way of thinking about money, but they're things that I've found to be true over time. So I'm going to present my screen here and go over the slideshow. I promise not to read from the slides directly. All right, here we go. All right, so my first one is to live within your means. And what I mean by that is don't spend more than what you have right now. Don't go into credit card debt to finance your wants. Don't take financing from a company for a thing because you know you're going to get paid next Friday. Emergencies happen, things pop up, and all of a sudden, the money that you've already spent, then it piles on of money that you need to spend, and now you're in serious debt. And this is what drives people to frequent places like payday loan stores, to have to ask friends and family for money, to be in a position to ask for money that you don't want to be in. For a lot of Americans, this is possible. You are able to defer your wants and only spend money when you have it. It just takes some discipline and patience, which is not always easy, but is the right thing to do financially. Okay, so live within your means. Over here is a quote from David Copperfield. I won't read the whole thing. The idea, again, is that while money may not be everything, certainly by living within your means and not spending everything that you have and being paycheck to paycheck, you can have some security, and that can lead to contentment and happiness. Number two, this is the 50-30-20 budgeting rule. And this is a way for folks who don't want to spend the time on a spreadsheet or by tracking every expense or using maybe the envelope system to see what they need, want, and then save each month. And so the general rule, again, is that 50% of your needs are those things that you're going to spend on. 30% should go for your wants, the things that you want to buy, discretionary items, and then 20% should go to your savings. The mantra with savings is pay yourself first. You may hear that a lot if you read personal finance books or other things, but it is true. When you do this, you want to automate it, have a system. Say that 20%, you shouldn't even see it. It shouldn't be even considered available for you. It should just go right into that savings account that's specially set up and it's gone. As you build up savings, as you build an emergency fund, as you build up enough money to have to save, then that can also become your investing pile. But you should not have that available because if you do, if you put it into the rest of your funds, it will be spent. That is a guarantee. On the bottom, just a little thing here. It says, want to save on your expenses? Buy high quality used goods. Sites like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace have amazing opportunities. I kind of think of them as storage in a sense. There's always going to be something there that you can get if you need, and you don't have to keep it in your basement. That's the ideal part. Number three, create an emergency fund. For those of you familiar with Murphy's Law, the common saying goes, what can go wrong will go wrong. And over here is the original version, which says basically the same thing. So an emergency fund is exactly what it sounds like. The definition's in the name. It's for those times that you've had an emergency and you really need the money and you just don't have it in that checking account, in that savings account. It's there to protect you from having to ask those family members from going to the payday loan store, right? It keeps you safe and secure. That's the whole idea behind it. It's $1,000 to start with. As you get more financially secure, it becomes 3 to 6 months of your common expenses. And those are things that you will know if you've tracked your budget for any amount of time or just looked at your average monthly expenditures, which are very easy to do today with linking your accounts to different sites. And so you really get a good idea of what that looks like. But again, to start with, for a lot of people, just get that $1,000 set aside, stashed away so you have something to fall back on. If you have a car and the brakes go, there you go, right? There's your emergency. Okay. Click that twice. Here we go. Number five is avoid bad debt. Bad debt is anything that is going to hurt you financially in the long run. Could be your car is depreciating. Could be that you just financed a couch. Could be that you just bought something that you didn't have the money for currently, and now you're going to pay on it for the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. It's never a good idea to go into debt for consumer spending. It's the quickest way to financial ruin. So anytime you buy a depreciating asset, something that's going to lose value over time, that's a bad debt. If you're looking at a finance perspective, it's a company where they don't think the debt's going to be paid back. Okay, credit cards are bad debt. They always charge higher interest than you're going to earn on any investment, right? 18.2%, 19%, 25%. The average stock market return is 7% after inflation, 10% annually, 7% after inflation. So if you're paying more than that in credit card interest, 18%, then you're guaranteed to lose money, right? Pay those credit cards in full every month. Like I say on the bottom, you get points if you auto schedule the payment. Knowing an asset from a liability. A controversial hot take would be that homes are both assets and liabilities. Most people think of them as assets, but assets are things that pay you every single month. Liabilities are things that you pay for every single month. So unless your home is an investment property, it's likely not a pure asset. Yes, it has appreciation upside most of the time, both natural and forced, but it's not necessarily an asset. If we have an event like in 2008, 2009, where the housing market crashes, people found out very quickly that homes can be assets. There are elements of them that work like assets, but sometimes they're just pure liabilities as well. And so if you're paying a mortgage, property taxes, water, heat, electric, they don't pay you for those. You pay them. You pay the bank. You pay the city. So those are not always assets. An investment property that cash flows every month, that is an asset because every month it is paying you for owning it. Okay. A business that cash flows, right? That's an asset. Number 7, understand the power of compound interest. Einstein may or may not have said it, it's often attributed to him, but the idea is that if you know how compounding works, then you will understand why investing early in your life is so essential and important. The more you put aside today, the more you're going to have tomorrow. I mentioned before that market returns are 10%, 7% after average inflation. Well, that's true for today as well, right? If you look at money growing upon money, that is compounding. And so this chart right here shows it better than I can explain it in words. And it's that if you start at age 25 and put aside $5,000 per year, by the time that you are 65, you will have $1.3 million. If you wait till 35 to do the exact same thing, you would end up with only $565,000. And you can see from the chart as well, this gigantic growth really happens towards the end of the time versus in the beginning. It takes time to see the benefits of compounding. It's a game of patience, but it is one that pays off immensely in the end. Number 8, invest wisely. What I mean by that is for most of us, we are average investors. We don't have specialized training. We're not chartists. We don't have financial foundation theories. We're not going to sit there and interview the management of companies. We're regular, ordinary people. So for us, the best thing is to invest in low cost index funds that don't charge high fees. Common mutual fund providers include Vanguard, Charles Schwab, Fidelity. There are others, but those are some of the biggest names. Personally, I like Vanguard because they're just very upfront with everything they do. They have target date funds that you can just hit a button, forget about it. You can do auto scheduling of investments. It's a really nice site. And so the key in this article that I post is the best investors are lazy with their investments. I don't mean in doing the research. I don't mean in considering your investment portfolio. I mean, when you put something in there, set it and forget about it because I don't have the ability to actively trade. I don't want to sit there and do and click buttons all day and track those things. I'm not going to set up stop loss ideas. I'm not going to buy high, buy low and sell high. No, it's very hard to do that. So take advantage of dollar cost averaging, which is investing the same amount over a long period of time, and you will see those gains happen. If you ever hear an investment provider tell you something like it's only 2%, yeah, that can eat $300,000 to $400,000 out of your portfolio from the time you begin investing to the time you end investing. Don't listen to that. You want to pay expense ratios and fees of 0.07 to 0.1%, and that is it. Anybody that tells you any different is just flat out wrong. All right, and finally, a few common claims about money. So we often hear that money is the root of all evil. Money can't buy you happiness. A penny saved is a penny earned. Well, in current times, I want to challenge a couple of those ideas. My first is that it's really greed that leads to problems. If, you have enough and you're happy with how you're going, focus on other things in your life. You can see those numbers in your accounts grow and grow and grow and grow. It's satisfying and it's a nice feeling, but a nicer feeling is having a happy marriage, having somebody that you love, taking care of your mom or your dad, being able to give a gift to charity. Those are the things that really bring value to your life and the things that you're going to feel good about versus just seeing a number grow. At the end of the day, you can't take it with you, right? Number two, money can't buy you happiness. That's true. It cannot. But I will say it can provide you with a lot of nice things: a home that you can live in, a car you can drive around, vacations, a few nice meals once in a while, and a retirement that's comfortable. Okay. Without that, you might have to rely solely on Social Security or the generosity of others. And it's not a position that, I want to be in or that I want you to be in. And then finally, a penny saved after taxes is more like two pennies earned. Because if you're an employee, you're paying FICA taxes, Social Security, Medicare, income tax to the federal and state governments. All of those things will eat away at your paycheck. And so when you're saving and not spending, you're actually doing a better job than if you're earning more money, right? Because that money that you're earning that's more is taxed. Okay. The money that you're just not spending is money you already have. All right. So those are my big tips about money and investing and savings and budgeting. I hope you enjoyed this short presentation. Please feel free to leave me any feedback at my email address, which is mgotsch36@gmail.com. Have a great night.